Beyond the Gates spoilers, next week sneak peek November 3rd to 7th November. Derek stands, Vernon sneaks, and Joey tells Anastasia he killed Doug. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a nice day. Before we begin the video, please subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. Here are your Beyond the Gates spoilers for next week. Here's a look ahead at the episodes we'll see from Monday, November 3rd, to Friday, November 7th, 2025. Next week on Beyond the Gates, Vernon, Clifton Davis, is acting dodgy, and further to a hushed conversation Anita, Tamara Tooney, walked in on last week, Vernon is at it again, and he tells this person on the other end of the phone that he knows what he is doing, and to let him handle it his way. Next, we see Vernon, dressed to be inconspicuous in a brown leather jacket, standing out in the hallway of the same hotel where Leslie, Trisha Mangrant, and Ted, Keith D. Robinson, live, knocking on a door. The door opens, and there is a lady in the doorway. Vernon smiles and apologizes for being late. "What are you up to, Senator Dupree?" "You better fess up." Derek, Ben Gavin, is on the phone talking to Shanice, Ernestine Johnson, and she tells him that he had better fess up pretty soon, or he'll regret it. Just then, Ashley Jen Jacob walks into their apartment and sees Derek on the phone. Standing up, out of his wheelchair, Ashley cannot believe her eyes and says, "This is incredible." Derek looks happy but shocked. Will he tell her how long he has been able to stand or feel his legs? "You're done. This is your last day." Martin, Brandon Claiborne, and Smitty, Mike Manning, are not done punishing Samantha, Nadja Jackson, for the sight they saw when they returned home. No doubt now Tyrell, Jaden Lucas Miller, has told his dads that she is still texting Nathan Elliott Suttle. This ends with Martin telling Samantha that this is her last day, and that it will be the end of her working with Kat and Chelsea, Ronnie Rose Mantilla. Samantha is furious at her dad for taking away her dreams, and tells him she hates him, then walks out with her bag and shuts the door behind her, despite Smitty calling out to her to wait. "He's my dad." Yet another confrontation that doesn't end well is happening beside the nurses' station at Garland Memorial Hospital, and again with Shancy watching. This time, Ted, Keith D. Robinson, and Eva, Amber Michael, stand together, and Kat, Colby Muhammad, goes off at Eva, asking what she just said. Eva replies with, "I called him Dad." Kat then says, "Well, I hope you enjoy the one daughter you have left, because you can't have both of us." Kat then pouts and storms off. Nicole, Daphne Duplex, is seen standing there watching it all play out, but because it makes Ted look bad, she stays silent and lets it happen. Nosy Resident gets a shocking truth. The last scene of our sneak peek finds Joey and Vanessa trying to enjoy a meal at the Fairmont Crest Country Club, when the resident busybody and gossip queen Anastasia, Temeka Soretti, steps in to inquire about the pair. Joey, without batting an eye, says to her, "I had him killed so I could have his wife all to myself." Vanessa was just sitting there looking down at her plate until Joey said that. Vanessa's face changed to one of suspicion. Does she now think that Joey did that? Stay tuned, soap fans, for another incredible, dramatic, and soapy week on our favorite soap. Beyond the Gates spoilers, next week sneak peek November 3rd to 7th. Derek stands, Vernon sneaks, and Joey tells Anastasia he killed Doug. The coming week on Beyond the Gates is set to explode with revelation, regret, and rebellion as secrets that have been simmering beneath the surface finally erupt in a storm of betrayal. The week will see Derek take a stand that could fracture every alliance he's ever built, Vernon slipping deeper into the dangerous world of double-crossing espionage, and Joey delivering a confession so shocking it could rewrite the entire Fairview narrative. The week begins quietly, almost deceptively so. Fairview feels hushed after Leslie's bold public move, but the stillness is only the calm before the next strike. Derek starts the week standing in front of the town council, a man who has spent his life following orders now ready to defy them. For months, he's been torn between loyalty and morality, caught between what's expected of him and what's right. This week, he decides he's done being silent. The council meeting becomes a powder keg when Derek publicly challenges the infrastructure project, spearheaded by Carlton and Nathan, a project that everyone knows is a front for a land grab scheme. His words are sharp, measured, and unflinchingly direct. Fairview deserves more than deals made in the dark, he declares. The room goes still. Nathan smirks, Carlton's jaw tightens, and suddenly the man they dismissed as a loyal subordinate becomes their biggest threat. In that moment, Derek's defiance transforms him from pawn to player. But taking a stand comes at a price. Behind the scenes, Nathan orders Vernon to handle the problem quietly. And that's when Vernon starts to sneak, not for Nathan, but for himself. Vernon's storyline this week is steeped in shadow. Once the town's invisible fixer, he's now become the snake in the grass no one sees coming. While the council argues over Derek's rebellion, Vernon slips through the hallways of Fairview Hall, eavesdropping on closed-door conversations, photographing confidential files, and sending encrypted messages to someone the audience doesn't yet know. His motives are murky, but his actions are deliberate. He's gathering ammunition, not just for survival, but for leverage. Vernon's duplicity deepens midweek when he visits Leslie under the guise of helping her navigate the fallout. Their conversation crackles with tension. He's charming, calculated, and curious. Leslie senses danger but listens anyway. Vernon hints that he knows about her secret alliance with Tyrell and suggests they might benefit from mutual transparency. Leslie doesn't bite, but Vernon leaves her with a warning. People who stand too tall in Fairview tend to fall harder than most. Meanwhile, Joey's storyline takes an even darker turn, becoming the emotional centerpiece of the week. After weeks of paranoia, guilt, and sleepless nights, Joey can't hold it in any longer. He seeks out Anastasia, the one person who's always seen through his lies. The two meet at the old boathouse, a hauntingly quiet place that has become a sanctuary for broken souls in Beyond the Gates. The scene unfolds with unbearable tension. Anastasia thinks Joey is there to reconcile, maybe even confess a betrayal of love. But his eyes tell a different story, haunted, hollow, and desperate. He finally says the words no one expected, "I killed Doug." The silence that follows is almost painful. Anastasia doesn't believe him at first. She thinks it's another manipulation, another one of Joey's attempts to make her pity him. But as he explains, his voice shaking, the details spilling out, the truth becomes undeniable. Doug's death, once dismissed as an accident, wasn't random. Joey admits that it was a confrontation gone wrong, that he never meant to do it. But everything spiraled out of control. He describes the night in fragments, Doug's threats, the fight, the fall, the sound of silence after impact. Anastasia's face shifts from disbelief to horror to heartbreak. She realizes that the man she once loved is now the ghost of his own making. Their conversation doesn't end with forgiveness, it ends with fear. She tells him he has to come clean before someone else does it for him. But Joey's already too far gone. "You think I can confess?" he asks quietly. "They'd never let me live long enough to." By Thursday, word of Joey's breakdown begins to ripple through town. Leslie overhears fragments of gossip at the cafe, and Tyrell, ever the protector, begins connecting dots that others ignore. He suspects Joey's confession isn't just about guilt, it's about covering something bigger. When Tyrell visits the boathouse, he finds traces that Doug's death wasn't accidental, but orchestrated by someone else. Someone Joey might be protecting. Meanwhile, Derek's brave stance puts him squarely in danger. Carlton arranges for Derek to be discredited by planting evidence of financial misconduct. But Derek, wiser than they realize, anticipates the move. He releases his own statement to the press first, exposing the council's shady dealings before they can smear him. The shockwaves of his defiance spread fast. Fairview's fragile order begins to collapse as alliances fracture. Nathan calls a private meeting with Vernon, furious that Derek's leak got out. But Vernon's loyalty is no longer certain. Instead of apologizing, he hands Nathan a flash drive containing surveillance footage, evidence of Carlton meeting with the out-of-town investors behind the project. Nathan's expression darkens as he realizes Vernon has been spying on everyone, including him. "You've been busy," Nathan mutters. Vernon smiles faintly. "I like to be prepared. By Friday, everything comes to a head." Anastasia vanishes after her confrontation with Joey, leaving behind a note that simply says, "You weren't the only one there that night." The mystery deepens. If Joey didn't act alone, who else was involved in Doug's death? Leslie, piecing things together, realizes the murder could connect directly to Carlton's land deals. Tyrell urges her to be careful, but she refuses to stay quiet. "Fairview deserves the truth," she says, echoing Derek's earlier words. The week ends in chaos and cliffhangers. Joey spirals, realizing Anastasia's disappearance could expose him before he's ready. Vernon meets with an unknown contact in a dark alley, exchanging an envelope for a single line of dialogue. The game begins Monday. Derek.